This hangout is not on the air, it says. Well, how do you do, Buckaroos? I'm starting off this session. I think it's our second 2017 session with a Springfield Brewing Company Mud House Stout. Is a coffee stout here in Springfield, Missouri, that uses Mud House coffee from the Mud House, which is a local coffee establishment. And one of my session regulars, Todd Wren, is here. So, Todd, what are you drinking, bud?
I am drinking out of the tasting room box, I guess you might call it, the Boulevard Milk Stout.
Oh, nice. You still got some of that one left?
I've got, I think I may have one more out of the three of these, and then I still got a couple of the Rosemary's left. I've been kind of saving them for some reason. I was like, when they're gone, you know.
I also poured me a shot of this Dead Guy whiskey. Have you had this before?
I haven't. Is that good? I've been wanting to ask you about it.
It is brilliant. It's a fine whiskey, very malty, a little sweet.
So does Rogue actually make that?
Yeah, the Rogue Distillery, it uses the same malt bill as their Dead Guy Ale.
Dead Guy Ale.
It's very nice. It's a fine whiskey. So, anyways,
I'm not sure if we can get. I'm not sure if we can get that here or not. I've not actually looked for it. I'm sure we probably can. We get all the Rogue stuff. So
it runs about 40 a bottle, and I was leery about trying it for the first time at that price, but I got to tell you, it is worth every penny. It's a damn fine whiskey.
Is it aged at all or no?
It's aged. It doesn't give me the total age, although this may be the total age. It's actually ocean aged for a full year.
Okay.
And it is just incredible.
I'll have to look for that.
So you're having the Boulevard Milk Stout. That was a very interesting mix pack, wasn't it?
Yeah, I like it. I kind of wish I'd have bought another one. I caught it on sale for like $13.89 for the 12 of them. Of course, 6 of them you can get anytime in the 80 acre and just the regular pale ale, but those are still two fine beers as well.
Well, especially for that price.
Yeah. And unfortunately, you can only get the milk stout and that rosemary IPA in that mix pack. But so really, you're just kind of buying it. So really, you're just kind of paying the $14 for the 6 beers, I guess, on top, and the other 6, I guess, are just kind of bonus beers, I guess you could say.
Yeah. Well, that rosemary IPA was nice, though, huh?
I liked it. Yeah, it's different. But that's kind of what I liked about it. It's not your typical high power, fruity IPA, that you get these days.
Yeah, I agree. When I first had it, I said it was a perfect fall IPA with the rosemary. It was a perfect beer to have around Thanksgiving.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. I think I was drinking that one on the last video we did at the beginning of the new year.
Yeah, I think you were.
I was having one of those, and it's yeah, it's really good. It's nice. So, yeah, I would agree with you. It's kind of more of a fall, kind of a good lead in for your citrusy summer IPAs, I guess you could say.
So I'm snacking on some popcorn. I don't know if you noticed, but have you ever seen one of these?
Catamount corn popper. I haven't.
It's a microwave corn popper, and it is the best one I've ever had. It's the first microwave corn popper I've ever had where it actually tastes like popcorn, all I do with this is I put about a quarter cup of popcorn in here with whatever salt you want to use, about a tablespoon of oil, and then it's got that deal on top. I rest about a tablespoon of butter on top, about 2 minutes, 45 seconds, and the popcorn just comes out perfect, man. It's just
perfect. Oh, wow. Yeah, I like the kernel. I kind of do the old-fashioned kernels on the stovetop, but I've seen various versions of microwave. For the kernels, I was wondering how they actually worked.
This one is the best I've ever had. I don't remember. My wife actually have 2 of them, and this one she actually found at a flea market.
Oh, okay.
I think the first one was one of those. Oh, one of the folks she worked with, they were selling through whatever catalog their kid had, and that's how we got the first one. But the second one she got at a flea market.
Gotcha. No, I haven't tried them, but I've been looking to try to maybe pick one up along those lines.
Well, you know, that packaged microwave popcorn is so terrible. I mean, it's got so much food coloring and chemicals in it that they're just bad for you. And this, you can make this a great, perfect popcorn.
Right. Yeah, I would agree.
Oh man. So,
So
where do you fall on coffee stout?
Say again. I'm sorry.
Where do you land on coffee stouts? Do you like coffee stouts?
I do, which is odd because I'm not a big coffee drinker. I don't mind the coffee stout. I like the coffee stouts.
This is a good one, and what I like about this one is what I like. What other breweries do that are local is they use local ingredients. They use a local coffee roaster. This is from Springfield Brewing Company, and they use a local coffee roaster called Mudhouse Coffees. They also have a bar, Mudhouse Lounge. But anyway, that's a separate topic. But I like that they use a local coffee.
Yeah, I was at a brewery here about 2 weeks ago, local, kind of across the road from New Albanian. If you remember, the New Albanian was
I
at
do,
there.
yeah.
It's in that area. They just actually celebrated their 1 year anniversary I guess maybe it was probably before the holiday. So let's call it a month ago. I was there, and he was brewing a coffee. I can't remember if he called it a coffee stout or if it was a coffee porter. It was almost he let me have a sampling taste of it, and man, it was excellent. It was kind of had a sweetness to it. It's local coffee beans that he used, but he did a cold. Instead of doing it in with hot, he did it cold in the brew batch at the end. So he said it makes it more sweet. He said not many breweries do that.
Yeah, that's a nice process. You don't get that bitterness when you do it that way.
Yeah, and he had said some of the sweetness, but you get more of the you get more of the flavor of the coffee. It was excellent. It may be on tap now, but this was just still in the back as it was still getting ready, I guess. But he brought a little sample out to me, and it was fantastic. I'll have to go back and check and see if he's got it on tap yet.
Yeah, that sounds good. I need to get back out your way one of these days. I really want to do hit some of the distilleries out that way.
Well, make a weekend of it. We got plenty of room here. I know you said on previous videos you don't want to stay at other people's houses, but you're more than welcome to.
Well, I appreciate that.
Crash in our basement downstairs and save you on some money, and we'll do it a weekend and go some distilleries and hit some breweries.
Yeah, the main reason I always say no is that my wife and I have terrible sleeping habits. Neither one of us in our older age sleep very well. And then myself, speaking for just myself, I have just the worst gas known to man.
I think I saw you say that before.
You don't want to come in my bedroom in the morning. I mean, it's just terrible. I don't know how my wife has been able to put up with me for 20 years. But I just get the worst gas at night, man. I'm not even exaggerating. It is horrible. But you might have to fumigate the next day. But yeah, I always appreciate what folks offer. I just don't sleep well.
Well, at any rate, it's always open. If you'd rather stay in a hotel or whatnot, we can definitely set something up and take you around for the weekend. And I'd as long as I've lived here, and shame on me, and I almost hate to admit it, but I've not done any of the distillery tours either.
Well, we went into your neck of woods. I actually stayed in Bardstown. I mean, I was right close to a lot of distilleries in 2013, and I had the time to do them. I just wasn't in a very sociable mood at that time.
Right.
And we rented the place that we had because we were able to be secluded. We weren't in a hotel. We just got a little cabin, So we didn't have to do anything. We didn't have to socialize. And in fact, the only time we socialized is when we come up to visit John and saw you and Charles up there.
Right. Yeah, we was gonna do Jim Beam last summer and went there, and it was sold out on tours that day. So we didn't call ahead or anything. It was just kind of a spur of the moment. We were in Bardstown, so we thought we'd stop in on the way back. And so that's the only time I've actually been to any of them. We did a little walk around the property, but that was about it.
We went to this little flea market in Bardstown, and they had basically big gallon Ziploc bags or I think they were 2 gallon bags. Maybe they were pretty good sized bags anyway. Um, with bourbon barrel chunks.
Already charred and
Yeah,
ones
just
that
they were
they've
just the
used.
bourbon barrel. They were just chunked out. So I bought several bags. I bought so many that it actually took me about 2 years to use them all. But some of what I did, some of them I used to age some of my own whiskey. Most of it I used for smoking. But because that stuff was so powerful, I mean, you only needed a couple chunks. You didn't need to use much of it to smoke something.
Yeah.
It was beautiful.
Yeah, it'd be cool to get a barrel of an old barrel of, and do some home brewing and age some in that just to try it out.
Have you ever checked out Bardstown much?
We've been there a couple of times.
It's an interesting little town. I mean, like we were there 3 years ago for, let's see, I guess 4 days. We were there 4 days. I just thought it was a remarkably clean town. It was a very friendly, very tourist-friendly town.
Oh yeah, it's nice, and it's old too. Bardstown is old. It's an
Yeah,
old
that's what kind of amazed me
town.
is how clean the place
Yeah,
was.
yeah, it's nice. The little downtown circle area there is it really is. It's really nice. Nice little, some nice restaurants and little shops or whatever.
There's one nice restaurant, and I can't remember the name of it, but it's in with there's a hotel and then the restaurant. Anyways,
Yeah.
we went there because there was it was more of a tourist place, I think, and we'd never had the Kentucky hot brown before, and I know it's kind of a local dish there. So her and I ordered that and split one there. Then there was a small family restaurant downtown Bardstown called Mammy's, and that place was just crazy. We were there 4 days, and I think we had 3 meals there.
Yeah, we ate lunch there while we were in there over the summer, this past summer.
That's just such a great place. They had these dinner specials. They were like, I don't know, it's kind of like your typical old blue plate special kind of dinner, you know. What we did though is her and I would split the dinner, and then we'd split a piece of pie because they always had a daily pie. So we'd have dinner and a pie.
Yeah, we had lunch there, and then we got there earlier in the morning, and went in. They got a little pharmacy there that still has the old diner, like in a lot of the old pharmacies that had diner and serve food and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And little breakfast sandwiches. So we got a bacon and egg on toast, and man, I mean that sucker but there probably was a half a pound of bacon on that thing.
Wow,
it was good. Now it was like a couple, $2 or $3 maybe at most. I mean, it was well worth it.
What I did notice out there is in the liquor stores that I visited, how big the bourbon sections were.
Yeah, well, you was right in the heart of it.
I mean, all the stores out here, I mean, we have several kinds of bourbon, but I mean, it was amazing to see that, like Heaven Hill, for instance. I mean, we usually have 1 or 2 varieties of Heaven Hill. And I think the liquor stores would have like 10 different. They just had whiskeys there that I hadn't seen here.
Yeah.
There was one that I got. It was a Heaven Hill. It was 100 proof, bottled in bond, and it was $10. It was $9.99. And it was the best $10 whiskey I'd ever purchased in my life. It was freaking amazing.
Yeah, we take that for granted. I don't even think about it. You walk in, you're like, you walk into to a regular liquor store around here and you see whatever you want. And if you walk into, let's say a Walmart or your big box stores that carry limited supplies of it, and their limited supply is probably what you would normally see in most other areas across the country. And you're like,
I mean, instead of a 4-foot section, you've got like this. I mean, in a couple of the stores, they had like this. I don't know. It was almost a whole aisle of just bourbons.
Oh yeah.
We're not even talking the other whiskey. I mean, just bourbon.
Right. Yeah, a lot of them you just go. It's just one aisle bourbon or one row bourbon and whiskey. Whiskeys or whatever else on Irish whiskeys and everything else on the other side. It's
yeah,
crazy.
that was nice. I liked it out there. It was a very, I mean, all the places we went to, even all the retail places, my wife and I just kind of did stuff on our own, and we went to a couple flea markets and just stuff we really didn't have to socialize much. But I mean, every place we went, it was everybody was very friendly. It's a very friendly area.
Yeah, it's not. Yeah, everybody seems to be friendly, pretty friendly.
Even that day we went up into Louisville, though, everybody seemed friendly in that neck of the woods too.
Yeah, I can't complain about the area really. I've lived here all my life, so something's keeping me here.
Well, there you
Something's
go.
keeping me here.
Yeah, I'd like to get back out that way. It's a very interesting area. Like I said, I didn't get a chance to hit those distilleries, and I really want to go back and hit them.
Well, it's grown leaps and bounds since you've been here. In the last 3 to 4 years, even new bridges and a shit ton of breweries and local restaurants. Not your chain type stuff. So yeah, you should. We'll come to St. Louis and you come to Louisville.
There we go. We'll work something out. Yeah, I really want to get back that way. Speaking of St. Louis, though, I have to look up the exact dates. I've got a couple friends we're talking about going up to St. Louis for that Micro Fest. It's usually like the first or second weekend in May. So when I get the exact dates and figure out how much it'll cost, I'll let you know. So maybe you and your wife want to come down. We'll all meet in St. Louis for a weekend.
Okay. Yeah. If nothing else, if my wife is busy that weekend, I might bring my brother-in-law. He's a big. He likes doing. He's kind of my beer buddy. I go out with and do some of the craft beer stuff with him.
Well, that St. Louis Micro Fest is one of the bigger ones. I mean, they do a beer fest here in town in Springfield, and that St. Louis Micro Fest is about 3 times the size of the one they do here. It's just a monster. They have several tents set up outside, and they usually do a VIP ticket where you've got a VIP tent you can go into to sample stuff that's not available to the public. It's just set up very well.
Okay, yeah, let me know.
Yeah, I'll find out exactly when they're doing it this year, and I'll let you know. A couple of guys that might go with it were from one of the guys, Moose Seamus' pedal the cause team, and the other one was a lifelong friend of his. You might have heard me refer to him in some of my videos as Huggy Bear, called Moose and Huggy Bear.
Oh yeah. Yeah, I like to get out that way. Check out like Four Hands and Perennial and Shafley and some of the others in this area.
Yeah, Urban Chestnut. I like
Urban Chestnut. Yeah.
But again, those breweries are all going to be at that festival, so you'll be able to try a lot of stuff. I hadn't been out there. I guess it's been about 3 years since I've been to that festival. But New Albanian used to set up a booth out there too. That's how I first had New Albanian beer, because they had set up a booth there.
Yeah, I remember you talking about that.
Yeah, back in 2012, they'd set up a booth out there. So I don't know if they're still doing it, but.
Yeah, I don't know.
So when I first had that Optimus, I thought, man, that beer is brilliant.
Yeah, they don't make that very often. It's either once a year or once every couple of years. I can't remember. Don't see it very often though.
The Optimus?
Yeah.
Yeah, I fell in love with that beer the first time I had it. It was just gorgeous.
I mean, you can't go wrong with the Optimus, which is what that's based off of, their IPA.
Yeah, the oaked IPA, I thought it was just brilliant, man. But actually, to me, the addition of the oak really helps dry up the finish of the Optimus.
It did, yeah, it does. Yeah, it's a good beer, but you can't go wrong with either one of those.
So before we end this session, any tasting notes you want to add from your Boulevard Milk Stout?
You get nice sweetness on the back end. I guess probably typical body for a milk stout. Seems, kind of, like I say, thin to medium maybe, but very good. If you can find it in your area, pick up the 12-pack of mix pack and try it out. I would highly recommend it.
Yeah, I mean, You said you
I like
got that
seeing
for a
them.
great price, but typically they run out here. Those mixed packs typically go anywhere between 14 and 15, and that's still pretty darn reasonable.
Yeah, I think it was normally, I can't remember if it was $15.99 or $16.99, and it was on sale for $13.99. So
Yeah, I can almost always find those Boulevard mix packs for about 15, and every once in a while the store will have it for about 13 and a half.
yeah, and that was kind of a big chain grocery store that had them. So just happened to catch it and it was on sale.
So finishing up this coffee stout, big coffee notes. You do get a little bit of sweetness, and it has this creamy mouthfeel that almost mimics the addition of just a little bit of cream and sugar. It's put together well. I think it's one of the best coffee stouts on the market. I am Turner Beer Whisperer. Thanks for joining us for this session of the Beer Whisperer Pub.